Hey everybody, I just got off the Kakao talk with my oldest friend and possibly the closest person in this world to me, even closer than my wife, my brother Lyle. And he was making me laugh. He was sitting on the can at work describing how he'd barely made it. There was a photo finish and we were busting up. Anyway, I was just riding along now. I'm out for a ride and I'm just thinking about some memories, and I wanted to share with you a memory of that Lyle and I have so many memories together, and I'm so blessed to have had him growing up. Anyway, here's an anecdote that just kind of came up out of nowhere. When I was when we were teenagers, well, actually, when we were about maybe 8, 7, something like that. I'm 19 months older than Lyle. We got motorcycles. The dad decided to get into dirt biking. And we had started off with some little tiny bikes, and banged ourselves up on those things. And then Dad got a Steam. I remember we rode around that. And then I remember the night that Dad came home from work and took us out to the Yamaha dealership after dinner and bought each of us, Lyle and I, a brand new Yamaha 80cc tiny little yellow jobber. Oh my gosh, the joy, material objects can indeed bring happiness. And we went home, and Dad let us wheel those things into our bedrooms, and we slept all night. We slept with our new motorcycles. That was just the beginning of a basically a long into adulthood relationship with motorcycles. Lyle and I grew up banging ourselves up on dirt bikes, like I said. And at one point we were probably in our mid-teens, I was probably 17, Lyle was 16, and we had our 125cc, I had a 125cc Yamaha, I think Lyle had a Honda, and I had that water-cooled Yamaha. That thing was a beast, and we were at our peak in terms of bravery and athletic ability at that time. I don't mean to boast or anything like that. That's just the way it is with young men. They're 17-year-old young men are kind of in their dexterity, the coordination, all that stuff. And Lyle and I, we would go out to the Mojave Desert out there by the what was that place called? Soggy Dry Lake, and there was what was that lake called? I can't remember. Anyway, I'm losing it as an old man. Anyway, we would park the vans, and Lyle and I would take off for hours at a time, just coming back for fuel, just tearing up the desert. I look back and I feel sorry for it now as an ecology-minded person and a kind of hiker and explorer. I feel sorry for all the tearing up we did of the desert, our terrain that certainly can't suffer that kind of damage. But anyway, that's what we did. And I remember one time he and I were racing through an area that was had once been used for mining, and there were mine shafts sunk into the ground at periodic intervals, and we thought we knew where all the mine shafts were. We had explored that area quite a bit. And Lyle and I had this thing. We would go full bore across the desert, and our bikes were fast, and just racing between the creosote bushes. And if the creosote bush got in our way, well, that was one of the oldest plants in the world. That creosote bush was dead, and I feel so bad about that. But anyway, here we are. One time, Lyle and I are racing through the desert, racing along, and he's behind me. I'm up in the lead there, and we're kind of offset. Let me stop for a second. We're kind of offset. I'm here in the front, and Lyle's staggered back a little bit, and we're racing around the creosote. And I remember there was a little hill over here on the side, a little mound. If I had any smarts about me, I would have recognized what it was. It was a waste pile from a mine shaft. They would take they were trying to get ore out, and they would dig down, and they would take the waste rock and pile it up over here, and take the ore out and extract that. And I knew better. That's an indication that there's a mine nearby, and I didn't recognize it as such. And I went racing forward, and suddenly I hit a little bump, and suddenly I was airborne. I had come dead on into the mine shaft, over the mine shaft. A vertical hole sunk straight down. Fortunately there was a little hummock, little bump right in for it, and it launched me through the air, and I'm flying through the air. Nearly, not much of it wasn't much of a bump, so it wasn't enough to launch me like this. It was more like a bump just to get me a little bit of air. Racing, I must have been going, 70 miles an hour or faster, and it was big. And I launched over the edge, and I thought, oh crap, I'm gonna make it, and I got down the other side, and I didn't make it. And the back tire hit the edge of the shaft, bam, smacked onto the edge like that, hit that, launched me up into the air like that, into a, you know, upside down inverted thing. I let go of the bike, flew through the air, still probably going, 60 plus miles an hour. I'm flying through the air, and I'm just, I'm in a full on gear. We have all the proper gear, and, bam, I flew through the air. I must have flown, 20 feet or so, and hit the desert, roll, bam, 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 bam. My bike is tumbling behind me. I mean, it was damaged. I screwed up the rim there, bent in the rim, and it was in bad shape. I was banged up pretty bad. Nothing was broken or seriously. I was just mainly bruised and banged up. Lyle came pulling up beside, and we went back and checked that shaft. And it wasn't bottomless, but it was at least 25 feet down to the bottom. And if I had been going a little bit slower, I would have gone into the shaft, hit that wall at full speed, and then tumbled down to the bottom. And we were probably a good 30 minutes, 40 minutes outside of the camp. And from the camp, we were another hour's drive back into Lancaster and the Palmdale area. That would have been some bad action. And another happy memory with my brother Lyle. One of many. Yes, indeed. Let your boys be boys. Hey, if it kills them, what the heck? At least they get to be boys, right? It's good to be a boy. It's good, it's fun. See you later. I'm going to make another video about letting your boys be boys. What the heck? I'll finish this one and start another one. Bye-bye.